All right, welcome everyone. This is the Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is August 13th, 2014, a Wednesday. And the title of tonight's message is, Can you see the three trends on your chart? And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading rooms, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we have, our live trading rooms or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should ever be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, I don't see any, so let's go ahead and get started. Bear with me a second. We'll get a chart up here. What I want to go over tonight, and this is just basically a good simplistic webinar, but keep in mind, simplicity is what makes money. If you try to make things too complicated in your trading, you'll find that you're going to be, well, you're basically going to be analyzing what somebody else is going to be trading. Okay, that's the easiest way that I can put it. Because you'll notice in that room, you know, when we draw those lines and we say that it's going to retrace here, it's going to stop here, it's going to rebound here, that's usually where it does it. And the way we do that is this methodology that I'm going to teach tonight. There are three trends at least on every single chart. Okay, now our job as traders is to watch the main two, and that is your medium trend and your micro trend. Okay, because the overall trend, you know, which is what I call the overall trend, you've got to be aware of Fibonacci's and things like that occasionally. You know, if you're like in a huge down move, to give an example, but you've had a lot of up move in the meantime, and they all of a sudden hit a 50% retracement, well, it's probably no longer going to be going up, right? So we've all got to be careful looking at the overall regardless. But the most important is the medium trend and the micro trend, okay? And the whole reason that we developed Viper Lightning was for those trends, okay? Now, what I did on this chart, I just put on here, and this is basic, okay? Uptrend, always higher lows and higher highs. I don't know how many people I talk to that are come in on trial or something like that don't actually see these higher highs and higher lows on an uptrend. They don't see the downtrend when it's got lower highs and lower lows. And there are two different trends that you want to be watching on that, and that is your medium and your micro, okay? Now, let me ask a quick question on this chart, and I'm not going to single anybody out, never do that, don't believe in it, but where is the medium trend, or pardon me, the medium swing on this particular chart? Without a lot of analysis or anything, where is the medium swing on this particular chart? It should be fairly easy to see. Okay, and like I said, again, I'm not going to single anybody out. So if you can go ahead and just type in your answer there, and I won't mention names or anything. Okay, the medium swing. Now this is something that to me is very important when I'm trading. Okay, the medium swing is what I call the identified swing. Okay, and it's not the mid-band. Okay, the mid-band definitely does do a very good area of support and resistance, you know, and it's designed accordingly. It's a very, very good and powerful indicator. Okay, you can see, you can trade the daylights out of it. Look at this, mid-band, long, mid-band, long, mid-band, long. Now, do you keep trading mid-band long when you keep getting them? Well, after a while, where is this trade going to go? Okay, we've talked about it lots and lots of times. If it breaks the micro swings, it's going to more than likely go down and test what we call the medium swing. The medium swing is right here at 39.1450. Okay, this particular swing here is the difference in whether this continues going up or not at this particular moment. This one doesn't count. Okay, now we know that we're at mid-band, and we do know that we can take a trade here. Okay, and we got to be careful when we start really running like this. Okay, but on this particular chart, talking about the three trends that are on the chart, this is your medium swing. If you draw it with Lightning 2, you'll notice, there it is right there. Okay, and we've talked about this a lot of times. Okay, this is a high here, this is a low here. Very simple, right? Higher highs and higher lows make an uptrend. Well, this is your low on this uptrend. This is not your low on this uptrend. Okay, this low is not established yet. We haven't gone over this in a few webinars. Okay, but it is extremely important to know where these swings are. You remember today in the room, for instance, and I'm going to show on the chart how you could stay in a trade. You know, if you don't really look at the swings, you're going to get taken out of trades too easy. Okay, because to give an example, today Charles had a really good trade going, and it just kind of got him out of it, remember? But yet if you looked at the swings, the little lightning, what we call the micro swings, it did not take that trade off the table. Okay, and I'm going to show that here in just a little bit too, because you can stay in trades like that with your gusto. Okay, we're going to show you exactly how to do that. Let's see, how about 3902? Well, 3902 is not a medium swing. I mean, it is a medium swing, but it's not the identified one. The identified one is already taken out the high here. See your high here, low here, higher high here. So this is your medium swing. Okay, let me get rid of this now. Let's go over this real quick before I do get rid of it. I know everybody knows uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. All right, remember, lightning strikes both directions. Watch for the zigzag patterns and your identified swings. We're going to talk about the medium identified swing first, and then we're going to talk about the micro. Okay, so I'll get rid of that also. All right, and I mentioned there are at least 3 trends on any chart. There is a minor trend, a medium, and a larger trend. It is very important for the trader to see each one and make their trading decisions accordingly. All right, we'll get rid of that now. Don't need it. Let me just show this over here, because someone was mentioning, is this a medium swing here? Well, let me ask a question. All right, looking at this chart right here, I just started it here. Let's just start at the bottom. It doesn't matter. See? Swing, high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. All right, draw your line underneath it, and look how they respect that when they take out those highs. Now, if they just barely took this out and bounced, you know, you're still in an uptrend, and they're going to test these, believe me. You see it all the time. But you can clearly see on this chart that where's your medium swing right this very moment? Well, it's right here, but this only, that's what, 8 ticks approximately right there? That'd be 9 ticks, right? That's 9 ticks from that high to that high. So that kind of identifies that swing, but I've seen them take them out. Okay, but look at this next one though. Here's your high here at 3908, and what do? They take it out. All right, now this is your medium swing right here, 3902 1/4. Okay, it negates 3901.50 at that time because it finally took everything out. Okay, but notice how this is still doing the old, what we have called for years, the old Potter dance up, the zigzag lightning bolt up. Okay, now this is something I want to see you to see here too. See how this actually made a swing here? Okay, this number didn't show up until roughly in through here. Okay, but notice what happens when they don't respect a swing. Okay, see how when they double top like this, then they can take this out, and this is not a swing. Okay, this is your swing at that moment, and they have to respect it, and they do, right? And then they head up. Okay, so as long as they're doing that, what do we got on the chart? Well, we've got higher highs and higher lows, right? And that means an uptrend. And that means we're only looking for longs, unless you're a counter trend trader and you like to trade every little break of a box, which that's going to get you some decent ticks here and there while some others get a 100-tick run. Okay, now let's look at it again. All right, you got a high here. We don't know this is high yet because this number did not show up right here. I'll promise you that number showed up probably somewhere in through these candles through here somewhere. All right, but notice how this is not a swing as of yet, right? Okay, we know that we don't have an identified swing until this thing starts heading back up, okay? But if you look at your what we call the medium swings, you're going to notice that you can see on that chart exactly what direction that trade's going, okay? And just draw Lightning 2 to get it. Lightning 2 on this chart, like I said in every webinar that I teach, I usually like anywhere from 10 to 15 on my Lightning. And when you're talking about 4-range bars, 15 swing strength, literally, we're not talking about bars that go 4 ticks, 4 ticks, 4 ticks, 4 ticks, you know, for 15 total, right? They're kind of going 1 bar down, 1 bar, then an up, and then a down, then an up, and then a down. So it takes quite a few to get that swing, doesn't it? So that's how it's identified. Now, this swing right here that I was talking about when we first started the webinar is your identified swing when, okay, on what we call the medium trend, okay? It has to take this out. See there? Once it takes that out, and I like to have it taken out by at least, you know, on the what I call the medium swings, I like it to be taken out by at least 8, 9 ticks or more, okay? But you're going to find as a rule when they break them like this, they're going to usually kind of do their little dancing around, respect the swing, and then off they go again, okay? Now, looking at this same chart, all right, and I've got this in replay mode because I want everybody to call out some trades here on this chart, okay? And again, not going to single anybody out or anything like that. It's 6:56 in the morning. Let's say that you get up around 7 a.m. You start looking at your chart, okay? And that's what we want to do to trade the charts, right? We want to see if there's a trade on our chart. Pardon me just one second, getting a frog in my throat. Get a quick drink of water there. All right. Now, if this is our medium swing, and we know that this cannot be taken out for this to go up, all right, is it a good idea to draw a line there? Okay? Because you can pretty much count on it if they don't start taking this high out right here, okay, and make us another medium swing, then this is going to be tested. And we talk about that all the time in the room. If they break micro, they're going to check more of a medium area, okay? And you can tell by looking at your chart where your medium area is by drawing Lightning 2 on your charts, and you should be able to also see it, okay? But we did make this indicator perfectly for people to be able to see on their chart. And if you're getting higher lows and higher highs, same high, that low doesn't count. They could test that one, and then off they go again, right? So is that still an uptrend? Even at that moment right there, is that still an uptrend? It is, isn't it? Because this is a high, this is a low, and a higher high. This swing should not be able to be taken out by more than a few ticks if they're going to head up. And then what do? They bounce. All right? All right, so now that we've got a huge move up, we get up at 7 a.m. The market's already moved this much, okay? What do we do as traders? Well, we've got to wait for a retrace, don't we? Okay, unless you got in at mid-band. If you didn't get this mid-band trade, I wouldn't be chasing this up here. The reason I wouldn't be chasing it up here, I think everybody knows, right? It's doing the old lightning bolt down right now. Let's look at it. See there? Same thing, but on a lot smaller scale. But isn't this a high, a low, a lower high, takes out the low, doesn't take out this high, you get a lower high here, but barely lower here, but this is actually your established swing right there at this very moment, okay, until it takes this out, okay? Notice that this has not taken, even though this took this down, this back up, this hasn't really established this high yet here. Okay, so this is really your swing right here at this moment. Now, you want to watch it in real time, and let's just identify the swing as it does it. How about a box for OT? Well, absolutely. On your question there, Hardy, you can do a box for OT on this. You can also use the trend line tool. All right. Now, one thing I would highly suggest is don't go against Lightning when you're looking at this micro trend. Because, for instance, if you weren't already in and got your 10 ticks, at the mid band. I mean, that was a perfect area of support. Look at this. See this? Thrust, retrace, thrust. Where's support on this chart? Right there. See it? And they came down real close to it and they bounced. That's the way they do. And you could draw it if you don't believe that's support. Just draw it. Just hit the old Alt key and you'll see it. See that thrust, retrace, thrust up here. Now this is doing it with every little bar. All right. If you want to see a little bit less detailed, then change your little swing to like a 2, because a 2 will make it to where it has to break these little swings by at least 2 ticks, and then you'll get a lot smoother. Okay, but let's watch this in real time. Let's just put it on about 5 times, because I want everybody to call out a trade on this chart when it gets to that point. Let's just watch lightning. Just watching the chart, right? Don't go chasing trades. Once they've, you walk in the room, what is this? That's resistance right there. Well, is it going to take resistance out? Maybe, maybe not, right? So if you bought it right here, see it barely taking that out? But remember where we said real resistance was right up here. Okay, because that's actually your lightning bolt at this moment, okay? So it could easily come up. If it's going to still head down, it needs to get a lower high, all right? And then it needs to head back down. And let's see what it does here. Now, like I said, don't chase a trade like this, because if you didn't get the mid-band trade, then don't go chasing this thing. If this is going to really break up, if I walked in the room and it was looking like this, what I would want it to do would be to take out that high at 39.25 and come back and kiss it. Otherwise, I want a retracement trade. Okay, let's watch it. Okay, it's kind of double topping so far, right? We call those all the time in the room. It didn't take out the high. Now let's watch lightning here real quick and see if we can get a retracement trade. Like I said, if you could have gotten it at mid-band, you were fine. Take the trade. But if you walked in and you were clear up here, that really wasn't enough of a trade for me to jump in and risk, 12 ticks, because what was that? Maybe 7, 8 ticks to that top, 9 ticks. If you're going to do that, of course, yeah, box it in, but then take your coin when it gets up there near that top. Okay. All right, let's see what we get here. I'm going to get rid of lightning just real quick so that it doesn't confuse anything. Bear with me a second. And get rid of the other lightning. We'll start it up here because I want to kind of take a trade if we get, see how I put that little dot there? If we get a little lightning to the downside. Now, what I see on this chart, this swing right here is not identified. Everybody sees that, right? Because it never took out that high. Okay, so I'm not expecting a pop right here, right? This is not identified, so I expect it to go lower. Okay, let's just watch lightning and see if we can get us a trade. It should draw it as it does its little zigzag. And this is about the time I get up, so I wouldn't have taken this other trade to begin with because I wouldn't have even seen it. I don't have my coffee yet or my juice until a little after 7. But Hardy, on your question though, absolutely. And the way to draw the box would have been, when you saw it doing this little pottering effect here, would have been literally to have drawn it right across here or here. And then see how it popped up, came back and kissed it, and then went up. You could get a few ticks doing it that way. Okay, let's see if we can draw our lightning bolt. Remember, never chase a trade. If you walk in and they've already done their thing, that's where people lose the most money on trades. Now, that was a good little Band-Aid, by the way, but like I said, I don't normally get up at this time of day, so I didn't short that. I'm going to get this more at the time I'm up. This is about pretty close to when I'm at my computer with my coffee. It's around 7:15, 7:20. Okay? See how lightning draws automatically? Notice how I just put it up here even when this hadn't formed any zigzags at all. But lightning will do its thing. See it? See it right there drawing on my chart? Let's see if we can take us a lightning trade. We'll watch it. I'm going about 10 times speed, so hopefully we'll be able to get one. I'm going to just watch the lightning bolt as it goes down. Now remember, if they don't ratchet up, don't just buy it again at, there's kind of a 7:30 time. All right, don't buy it again just because it hits support. Okay, only buy support when it ratchets up. Like this one here, for instance, if you look over here, this had ratcheted up, comes down into support, right? Bounces up. That's a major move up, comes into support, bounces again. But if they don't take out those highs, don't fall for this twice right here. Okay, because usually as a rule, they're going to take it lower. All right, and I see if they break this right here, there's nothing stopping it till right down here. Everybody see that? See how those candles went straight up? So if they break this, they're going to come down at least to here. So could you get Object Trader ready to trade that? If they break down below here, we're going to watch the lightning and see if we can get that trade. Speed it up just a little bit more. Real quick while we're doing this, we've been 20 minutes into the webinar. Does everybody see, for absolute sure on your charts, those swings when you look at lightning, where you can box in those trades and make some good little trades, where you can watch for retracement trades and get a good trade? Okay, this is 7:30. There was some news, I think, right here that you could have taken, I guess, down there. I probably wouldn't have done that, though, because it didn't ratchet. I'd still be expecting a lower on that. See if we can get it. Right now, you've got a thrust, retrace, thrust. So there's your high right there. Lightning did not take it out yet. This one wasn't established right here, never took out the low. So you're still doing the lightning bolt down, right? Just the way we teach it. Don't fall for these little fakes like this. See where they don't even come up and kiss resistance? Let's see if we can get something. By the way, if you see something like this and they do break this little area here, you could obviously box that in, right? If you wanted to box this in. I'm not going to do a counter trend trade, but I would probably do that. We'd even talk about it in the room because I know it's going to come down to here at least, because it doesn't have anything stopping it. There's no swings. And it's already testing across here. So if it breaks, it's going to come at least down to here, and that's phantom. Now, would I take that phantom trade? Probably so. Lightning bolt. Let's see. It should draw any second now. Resistance is right across here, like so. See how it's kind of holding it so far? And by the way, you could easily have done the Band-Aid and got a nice short here. But what I'm trying to show is a good retracement trade and staying on the correct side of the trade. If you're going to take counter trend trades, always remember that once they get down near a support area, when you're looking for higher highs and higher lows, be ready to take a quick bounce trade because it will usually move fairly quickly. No, Kenneth, we wouldn't ignore the Band-Aid normally, not at all. The Band-Aid is set for, I think I've only got it set for 922. I didn't set the 703 one, so that probably showed up a minute or so later. But yes, you would definitely trade that Band-Aid. And that, you know, what's unreal, when it's a Band-Aid like that, that's not a counter trend trade because that's a high energy time, right? But your overall look on this chart is still up, right, until they take out that medium swing. So if you do take trades like this, ride the lightning bolt, just like we teach. If you shorted it up here, watch it do its little thing. You know, draw your lines. When it takes out the low, that's your high, right? Doesn't take out this low, so that's not your high. Tested the high, broke down again. We'll see where it makes another fresher, lower high, if it does. You could also draw this. on the chart. See if we can speed it up a little bit. It's 7:45. We haven't even opened the room yet. Now, if you were shorting this right up here, you would definitely be doing it like we teach with the lightning bolt, right? You take some good coin when you get 7, 8, 9, 10 ticks, right? If you were using Object Trader 5 and 10, that's the default. There's a swing right there, not identified just yet. Getting ready to be. Now, rather than taking a breakout trade, are we looking for a support trade bounce? Because we've already drawn it on our chart. That's where medium swing is. If they break the micros, they will check the mediums, or at least close to it. You could use Object Trader and box it in, right? Let's do it. Got plenty of time. Bear with me 1 second here. I know what this is. It's because replay was in pause when I put Object Trader on, so I got to take it off and put it back on. Just take a second. All right. Object Trader is going to go right down here. Till it takes this out, I'm still looking for longs, right? That's my medium swing, and I would expect it to probably kiss it. Just in case it doesn't get all the way down there, I'm going to do 3 ticks above, inside, touch, and let it do its thing. Turn off shorts. Speed it up again here real quick. About 3 or 4. Now, does everybody see, if you were short on the Band-Aid trade, you would absolutely want to protect your coin. We don't know if this is going to break down, right? There's nobody that knows this, but I do know that support's down there, and I would be willing to buy that down there. And also, if I was short from Band-Aid, I would be covering that trade down there too, or at least on the swings. You know, because what's it doing? Right now it's doing the old Potter dance down, right? Technically it did this, thrust down, retrace, thrust down. There's your swing. Not identified just yet because it hadn't taken out the low. See if we can get it. Probably do 3. Didn't take out that low enough for me to be convinced on that. Your swing's actually right across here now. There we go. It's identifying it. Okay, and there's your trade right there. See it? Right at support. Are we going to get taken out of this trade? Maybe. We'll see. All right, turn Object Trader off. Okay, now what would you be looking for? All right, you're looking for a swing, right? Let's go ahead and get them at some swings. Like so. Let me get this blue line out of the whoop, not the target, the blue line out of the way. Okay, that's pretty much where you'd be doing right here. So you've got resistance right here, you got resistance right here. See it right there at that swing? All right, you bounced right off support. Not worried as much about my trend line now. Okay. And we're going to see if we can go ahead and get a little bit of a trade here. Notice how by fading that, we felt a little bit of heat because obviously it went down a little bit further. But notice that Object Trader didn't feel that until it actually came down. It must have ticked a little bit because I think it filled it on that bar right there. There you go. All right, you got you a little trade. Now, where would you bring your stop? You'd bring your stop under there. Now you'd bring it under here, right? Just like that. All right, this you could move out of the way because we don't know where it's going, right? But we do know that our minor swing on our lightning is right there. See it? I'd probably give it a couple of ticks too, just in case. See there how it just tries to wick them? And if it takes us out, it takes us out. But your target is right up here, right? I'd definitely be bringing that in. Now, when that takes out that target like this, just this little bit, be very careful when they come back. If they take out support, watch the bar and see if it closes to the upside or the downside, and you can actually get out of this trade. See, that closed down, so I'd probably be clicking out if it takes out that support. And that is going to take out our support. May get a swing here. Let's go ahead and put it here because they just barely took out our high. That's not identified yet. They took us out. See how that works? All right, now we're looking for another trade, right? All right, let's slow it down for a second. Now this did ratchet up a little bit. So how many of you want to take a mid-band trade on this? Because it did go a little higher. That's called a ratchet up. All right. All right, so yeah. Now we missed it though. We missed it just a little bit. So what do you want to do? Well, if you're going to take it, then you got to take it the very second that you see it bounce. Okay, because if you don't, then you're going to be taking it when it's, well, you got swings that it's going to go to, right? There's a swing right there. All right, let's go ahead and get this one out of the way right here. Put it out of the way, and then we'll put this one at the swing, and that one we'll leave at that swing. That's fine. All right, your stop, as soon as you get, I like to have a little thrust. That's good enough right there, though. I'd put my stop just under the swing, a tick or so. Okay? Because what did this actually do? Thrust, retrace, thrust. That was a support area, and it held, right? And that was also mid-band, and it held. So that's fine with me. I'll take that trade any day of the week. Now, if they don't go ratcheting up, what are we going to do? We're going to wait for it to go lower, like we did over here. If they ratchet up, we'll take it again at mid-band. See what it's going to do here. Stop still under the swing. Lots of people ask, where's your stop when you do a trade like this, Gary? Well, what you want to do is you want to make sure that if it's going to give you the bounce type trade, don't let it do that quick little candle then reverse on you because you're going to lose 10 or 12 ticks. Nobody knows where this is stopping at the time, but you do know where support is. Okay? And we already talked about this is still an uptrend, right? It even made a little higher high again. It's making a higher low again, right? Now, if it doesn't take out this high right here, I'd be very conscious of the fact that I would more than likely want to come down lower. Let's see if we can figure out where it will be if it does that. I don't know if it's going to do it. I don't remember. I didn't trade NASI. Let's see what this does. And draw your little lightning. Let's get rid of the other lightning. We don't need it anymore. Let's get rid of it, and we'll draw it again right there. Stop could go under, probably at break even at least. It's making a little swing, not a major one. All right, you're trying to get up to the top. You got 2 contracts still left. You might fade that just a few ticks just to make sure that you can get it because that's a swing. And then once it takes that out, I'd definitely be raising my stop to under that swing for my gusto trade. Everybody see why we did that? And we may get another swing. Let's see. What we're trying to do tonight is go over the 3 trends, mainly the 2 trends, because you know the big trend. You just got to look at your chart and kind of squint your eyes a little bit, and you'll see the high, the low, and the higher high, or vice versa, you know, on every single chart. Don't look at all the noise. Look at the high, the low. Remember when we called that trade on Russell where it just came up to that high this morning? And it hesitated just a little bit and then blew through it? It never took out lightning. Okay, we're trying to make a higher low. Let's see if we do. If we don't, you're going to be out of this trade even on your gusto. And it looks like we're going to be out of this trade. We'll see. Got to let them have their little bit of room. All right, I'm going to bring my stop right under there. It's not identified just yet, but if they take out our top here, that's identified. See the little swing there? Maybe all she wrote. We'll find out. Still got two. I don't like having two. I really want to add another way on Object Trader 2 where you can just get rid of one contract. You can by moving your target, but you got to be careful because you could throw it into a broker situation where, you know, you throw a limit order where it shouldn't be on the chart. Looks like we're going to get taken out. We'll see. If they do, they do. Do we care if they do? No, because we're trading just like we teach in our room. Should have faded that just a little bit more though, shouldn't I? All right, now, did not take out the high. That's a lower high right there, right? So what do we want to do on this next trade? We got to at least take this out, right? All right, so we had a high, a low, a higher high. This is not your established low. This is, all right, right down here. And we expect it to be higher because that's already checked that, right? So let's see where it could be going to. All right, I see support right here, right across there. Everybody see that? And I see support, thrust, retrace, thrust here also, right across there. And I see support, let's look, kind of sloppy, but I see one more. Kind of right through there. Okay, let's see what we get. Don't just go falling for it because it did not ratchet up here. Okay, if you're going to take this one, you got to take it right at mid-band, and if you get a few ticks, then that's great. Okay, but keep in mind that when they don't ratchet up, those trades don't work out near as often. Now, if they go ahead and form a bar up and you jump in, then don't let them take it back out at cost. Okay, because more than likely they'll do that, right? What I'm looking for is a lower trade, but we can't take out our low here because that's our established low. And we expect a higher low. Let's see if we can find one. We got our support lines drawn. That was a good little 10-tick trade actually on mid-band. That's okay. This is 8:48 in the morning. There's a lower, almost. Come on. Speed it up just a little bit more. There, it's breaking down a little bit. See it taking out that low. All right, there's your lightning bolt right there. High, low, lower high, same low. So this high doesn't really count just yet until it takes out that low. Once it does, this high will count. Not yet. We're going to slow this down in just a minute, but we're watching the lightning bolt. And there it's lower, so that's your high, right? I'm going to pause this for just a second. All right. See this? Thrust down, retrace, thrust down, same low. That high doesn't count until this low is taken out, right? Now, once this low is taken out a little bit, you can pretty much see that they will hold this area. And then now your high is right here. See it? Right across there. Because it did a little pop down, little retrace, pop down. Now, let's see if we can get in this trade. Y'all want to take this one? What do you think? It's 8:52 in the morning. Seemed like a pretty good area to jump in. If we get a lightning bolt, y'all want to take it? Let's draw it. Get rid of the junk. That way you don't see it on your chart, and just draw it right up here, like so. That's what I love about lightning. You can reposition this puppy on the chart so you don't see all the junk in the back. Okay, let's see if we can get us a trade. Okay, we know we got support for sure down here. Should hold it at Phantom too. Now, does this mean you couldn't short under mid-band? Obviously, when it took out this support, you could do a breakout trade, right? But keep in mind, when you do that and you're looking at a chart that's actually heading long, that's still kind of counter-trend, isn't it? And also platinum is blue right there, which means that was even a higher high than, you know, for the day. Okay, so let's see if we can get in on a lightning bolt. Here's resistance right there. Y'all want to just box it in? Let's do it. Now remember, I'm not looking for shorts until they take out. Literally, on this particular chart, except for counter trend shorts, of course, if they break down below a swing like they did here, yeah, you can take those. But keep in mind that when they do that, if they pull right back up and take you out, you may have a lost trade too. All right, let's see what we can get. We'll just see what we can get here. I'm going to go ahead and do outside close. That's resistance right there, so it seems like a pretty good area to me if they break it. And all bets will be off if they take this out. Let's see what it did. There's going to be a trade if that bar closes. Hadn't closed yet. Hadn't closed yet. Now when they take out resistance like that, a lot of times I'll just hit market because I think that's going to take out resistance. You can see it's wicking it pretty hard. Close above the box will be long. You could reposition your box right there with mid-band if you wanted to, right? You want to do that instead? Just move it there instead because that's our swing. And there's our trade. Swings, always look at your swings. Turn off Object Trader, right? Because what you want to do now is you want to see if you can do what they call, what? Ratcheting up. Well, we're going to see if we're going to ratchet up, we're going to take out this high, right? So that's where one of our targets should be. And if we do ratchet up, what are we going to do? We're going to look for another mid-band, but only if we ratchet up. I remember this trade being called in the room, as a matter of fact. We boxed in, actually we boxed in this little area right across here. I was trading TF, but I remember Charles boxing in that area right across there. Which is still a good trade, but where would your stop have to be if you boxed in that way? Well, if you're going to ride lightning, it'd have to be down here. Now, usually when I take a trade like that, a breakout trade, I'm hoping that they don't take out support, so I wouldn't go all the way down to here. Let's see if we can get a ratchet up. Beautiful trades like this, by the way. And can you stay in a trade with lightning until you get a retracement? Sure you can, because the whole idea is to stay in a trade as long as you can. We don't know when this lightning is going to quit striking, so to speak, right? Well, right this very moment, it's already done a thrust. There's another little area right there. You could definitely bring your stop. Not quite there yet because it hadn't taken out the high. Expect it to come up to 39.26 and a quarter at least because it's tested that area. Let's see if it gets there. And when it's sideways like this, what do we all want to do? When it hits those highs, get out of your contracts except that last runner. Matter of fact, I'd probably fade this right down to here, just simply because that's a swing. Speed this puppy up a little bit. That's pretty slow even at 9:03. Okay, you're testing support right on top of the box. You expect that, right? That's what they do. soon as they take out that high, we'll reposition our stop. They're kind of wicking our little area right there. Yep, they just got us on our stop. Okay, so this particular trade right here, where's support? Okay, right across this area right here, and there's resistance. So could you grab it again, box it in? Absolutely. You want to do it? What do y'all think? See, you should have done it. See there? It just hit your target. That's why you got to be careful having your stop that tight. That swing was not identified yet. All right, now, we just got taken out on the trade. What are we going to do on this? We've got to wait for a retracement, right? Or we've got to wait and see if we at least get some kind of retracement and a bounce. Okay, but when you take out a high like this, just barely, let's just see. That's your high, it's sitting on it. All right, I expect it to come down and test at least here. And of course you need to draw support, which is right under there. And that's your areas that they should come down and test. And watch it do the lightning bolt until it gets to support. Now, if it takes this out right here, that's a pretty good swing, thrust, retrace, thrust. So this is an uptrend, right, on what we call our minor trend. So it can't take this out, right? So that's where you should get a bounce. Remember, if they take out the micro, like this little swing right here, they should come down and test this one. We don't know if they're going to, but I don't like to chase trades when they're all the way up here. You've got to get some kind of retracement. I'm going to take another inside trade if it gets down here to mid-band. Not a short. Speed it up a little bit. Doing the old Potter dance down so far. Once it takes out that low. Not established yet. Going sideways. Now, if I was to chase this on a breakout, what would you want to do if this was to break out? Let's talk about this for a minute. If this was to break through here, this 39.28 1/4, would it be smart to take a breakout trade or wait for it to pop and pull back? It'd probably be smart if it was to break here to pop and pull back to one of these support areas. Otherwise, you want to always watch lightning, and as long as the zigzag, so to speak, see where your zigzag is like this right here? That's where we're at. That's our low right there. So I would be looking for taking a trade there if it gets there. So see, if you get taken out of a trade, don't just jump right back in because, you know, unless you're ready to just take a couple of ticks or so. There's our trade. Came to support. Now let's get rid of some lines. Where's our resistance at? Resistance is right here. I'm going to turn off Object Trader. Resistance is right. Get one out of the way. We don't want resistance is right there. And resistance actually right there. I'm going to just put it right there because we bounced right off support. And your stop, you don't want to put here yet until it takes out this resistance area right across here with a good close. See, it's trying. See it right across there? Doing the old Potter up so far. Nope, still testing support. See why you don't put your stop there? They're going to wick you out. Takes that out, I'll put my stop there. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay. And then just watch your tread. Let's go ahead and redraw lightning because it's way back here. We don't care about that anymore, right? So let's get rid of it. Let's draw it here. Whoop. See how it doesn't draw it yet, but it's got a little dot there? That's going to draw it for me. We're down to 2 targets. We should get down to 1 if they take this out. And then what's your job as a trader after this? Ride the lightning bolt. How long did it last? I don't know. Let's find out. I know Russell lasted quite a while. And watch lightning draw as this chart continues up. If it continues up. If we hit our head here, I don't remember. On NQ, I wasn't trading it. Lightning's not established yet, right? This little low's not established yet. When it pops up through here, it probably will be. By the way, if you see them come close like this and you know they're going to hit it the next time around, you can move your target because look at this. You can draw like a trend line. See there? And then bring your target more in line with the trend line. Give you a little bit more that way. And with that high energy time, I'd probably move that target period. But let's just go ahead and take it. That's a trend line. Okay, there's our initial little stick. Takes out the lows a little bit. Is this going to be our new low now? As soon as it takes out that high, it will, won't it? Nine more minutes. We'll just be trading NQ today, it looks like. But real quick, before we go much further, does everybody see how to use lightning to stay in your trade? Okay, we talk about this all the time. Don't just get taken out of a good trade because lightning is going to be in different spots all the time, right? It's based on price action. It's based on the swing identification. All right, and until lightning forms on your chart, the whole idea is to stick with it. I mean, just like we did in oil. Remember this morning? Look at that. See lightning forming? Gets a little high, higher high. That's your low, right? Right there, right at that moment. So could your stop be under there? Sure it could. Not your line, your stop. And then just ride this puppy up with lightning. Let's fast forward it and see how far it went. We'll go about, that's almost 500 times right there. Let's just move it and see what it does. We'll get this out of the way. We don't care where it went, right? Follow the lightning bolt. Isn't that cool where you can draw that and it, you know, start it drawing and it'll draw itself and it does it in real time. It's just waiting on the swing to be identified. When it takes out this high, it's going to pop a line. Just as soon as it pulls back to make a little swing. See, when there's no pullback, there's no line drawn. So where's your low? 39.28 1/4. Are they going to test it? We don't know. We'll see. How many of you use lightning on your charts to trade? Just a quick show of hands. I won't mention any names again, as always. Oh, good. I see Y's coming in. Cool. You know, we've drawn on charts for 7 years, but this little indicator, in my personal opinion, is one of the best. It's simplistic, but it works. And that's what I like most about our trading system to begin with Pro. It is simplistic and it works. It doesn't get into a lot of analyzing. You know, while somebody's analyzing, trying to make $200 or $300 in a day, couldn't you make 1,000 or 2,000 some days, right? Because you trade the way this is taught. You look at medium trend. Most important is that medium trend. Trade against it, sure. You can take Band-Aid trades against it. You can take breakout trades against it. But keep in mind that a higher low and a higher high makes a trend of an uptrend, right? So if you were to have shorted this right across here, let's just say that you were waiting and you boxed this in. All right, you know it's not going to go this low because it's already tested it. See it right across there? So aren't you going to get a higher low, and also isn't Phantom kind of climbing up? So you expect it to end up somewhere where it did, see? And we had those drawn on the chart and it came down and hit them, didn't it? So if you would have shorted this, would you have gotten very much? Not if you would have waited for the close of the bar. You wouldn't have even gotten 5 ticks. That's why I don't like trading against the trend that much. Look at lightning right there. I'm going to have my programmer do a lightning trail stop. This one is close to it. It's the swings, but it's not as adjustable as lightning is. I'd like for the programmer to actually, whatever we set lightning at, that's what the stop would be. And then you could do an offset to tell it, you know, how much you want it to offset. That'd be a pretty cool tool, wouldn't it? So in other words, if you set lightning at a 2 swing like this is what it would draw. And it would put your stop right there at this moment. As soon as it takes out this high, it would put it here. Yeah, I'm going to have him look at that. I don't think it'd be that difficult to add it to Object Trader. Now let's ask a quick question on this. Is there a reason to get out of this trade yet? Now if you go drawing on your charts, these little bitty, okay, like let's say that you were looking at this right in through here, you know, and you got this little candle up and you thought, oh, I better put my stop right here. What do? They take it out. They got to take this one out though, because what is a trend again? Higher highs and higher lows, even on our micro trend. Okay, till it takes out this high, this swing's not established, right? But once it takes out this high here, this new swing is even established. See how it's a little higher? And once that was taken out, that was established. So where's your stop? Well, right this very moment, your stop is right there. See it? Just under there. Lightning is still keeping you in the trade. We're moving this at 500 times. It's not moving very fast. Everybody see how you can stay with this trade? Don't just fall for this little bit of, you know, hokey pokeying around like this. Just watch lightning. If it's heading up, it's going to give you more profit. And move that target out of the way. We don't know how far this went, right? But look at lightning. It's going to tell you how far it's going to go. Any reason to be out of this trade yet? With Viper Lightning, no, there's not. Now, when it makes this little thrust like this, could you protect some coin? Absolutely. Okay? But if you've only got one contract left, why? Why would you not want to stick with Lightning if this trade's going to go up? What if it goes up another 8 points? That's 32 more ticks. What if it goes up another only 6 points, something like that? But as you follow Lightning, you're going to be able to see. Now, I don't like this one yet because it hadn't taken out that high, even though that formed that little blip there. But as soon as this closes, I would probably bring my stop literally right under there, but not just yet. I'm going to lag it back just a little bit. Everybody see why? Because it's still doing the old lightning bolt to the upside, isn't it? Now, is this a swing? Absolutely, it's a swing. It'd be nice if they traded this quick some days, wouldn't it? You know, the quicker they trade, sometimes the easier it is to make decisions. Where's your swing? Wouldn't it be great to have that trail and stop? Get your target out of the way. I don't even see on this chart anywhere to look at, so we won't worry about it, right? Always look to the left to trade the right, but I don't see anything to the left, so we're just going to stick with the trade. Notice how this works also in the choppy stuff, because we traded this morning. Remember how choppy this was this morning? But yet we still got this trade, okay? Didn't we get this trade also right through here when it came down? You know, that's not breaking down when you can clearly see that you've got high, low, higher low than down here, right? At least the same, okay? And then what do? They pop up and give you a little ratchet up, so you expect a higher low again, a higher high, higher low, higher highs, and off you go. Where's your lightning stop right now? Let's see, what's right here? Can you lag back that much when you're trading? Can most of you trust lightning to get you these monster nice moves? You should be able to, because that's the way the markets move. Let's watch for just a few minutes. We're right at 8 o'clock, but let's just see what it did. Let's watch lightning in action. See how they just wicked that swing otherwise? See it right there? Right across there. Are they going to take out the high? We'll find out. If they do, your stop's going to be right under here. I got this thing moving as fast as it can. It's 500 times, so it's not going to move any quicker. Got to take out the high. Stop's just under lightning. I'd probably start sneaking it up there. Not necessarily it's going to take out this high. We don't know that. But you could sneak it up there. Just be careful if they do come back at you. You're liable to lose that stop, and the real stop's under here. Well, anyway, I think we've shown enough. I think anybody can clearly see if you use the 3 trends on your charts. Always look at your overall trend, your medium trend, which is your trading trend, your micro trend, which is your ins and outs, right? Even for counter trend trades. Now, if this pops up right in here, let's say it takes out this high right here, you got a little micro swing right here, but they'll a lot of times take those out. But if you start getting like really good moves like that, that's not a bad stop either. See there? Because it took out this high. Here's your real swing right down here, 39.39. And you could look at any chart and you could see what the actual trend is if you just simply look at the 3 trends on your charts. I think I'd be protecting that puppy for sure. Look at that. That is a monster move. Let's see. Takes out the low, higher low. I expect a higher low again. I'd probably even protect myself literally on top of this swing right here, just in case they come down. See how they're already starting to pull back? And you can just watch the swings. But keep in mind, you can always protect your trade too, and you can get back in if you want to, using the micro swings. There's your medium, like what I call a medium swing right there. Okay. Support right there. Doesn't take out much more than support. There's a little blip there. I'd be watching that candle. If the candles go on up, I'd probably bring that stop just under this line 6, because otherwise it looks like we're going to get taken out. Because everybody see what it's doing now? It's pottering down. You got a thrust, retrace, not quite taking out the low right here yet. If you draw your lightning from the top, that's what it looks like. I'd definitely bring my stop right there. See how it took out that little high right there? Because we're going to get it. There we are. We're out. Okay? Cool, huh? Next trade on this chart is where? Everybody should be able to see it. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be out of this trade, because it looks to me like it's coming down to a support area right here. Does everybody see that? Could we very possibly get back in it? Well, here's your swing right across here. Right? It's kind of identified right across there. And you've got support. That's a swing, fairly well identified. Right? And you've got support right down under here, right where it broke out. Should get a higher low right through there. You could look for a little lightning. Here's your resistance right here. you're still looking for longs. I'd probably take a long if it took out that little swing right across there. Y'all want to do it? Just real quick? Let's do it. Whoa, move the chart. There we go. All right, we took a trade right there on a little breakout. That's a little Potter break, right? Next target's right up here at mid-band. I'd expect it to at least hit mid-band. Where is resistance on this chart? Let's look. We got 3 contracts on. Let's see, resistance. If this was to break to the upside, you got resistance right here where one of the lines is. I'll put one of them right here. I'll put one of them right here. And I'll put the other one just at mid-band. Let's see if we do the old Potter up. Thrust, retrace, didn't take out the lows, needs to take out the highs. If this one stops us out, it just does. There we go. Got our, just about got our stop right under there. That was almost a phantom trade, wasn't it? And see, notice how it didn't get down to phantom, but we still were able to take it. By the way, we took that at 500 times speed. It's moving pretty good, but you can still see the trades. You just got to look at the charts. And there you go. There's another decent trade. That's the way you trade this. Just watch the lightning, watch the trends, watch the 3 major trends, okay? And I think you're going to find that you can probably get some pretty decent trades. We usually hit in that room anywhere from 85, 90%, and sometimes even higher. And even on a crummy day, it's usually only 2 or 3 out of probably 15 to 20 trades that are called. So, you know, we're just studying these charts just like we teach in the webinars. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, everyone, for coming. We'll be trading again tomorrow morning. After oil inventory, should be a decent day on oil. By the way, if this is to pull back, let me ask a question before we leave. Should this area hold? See it right there? That area should hold, shouldn't it? Because it broke it. It was resistance. So if it's going to check it, we don't expect it to break it. And if it's not going to check it, then it's going to check a higher resistance area. Okay? If it checks it, no big deal, right? Our stop's in. And like I said, this going there we're checking it right there within a tick. There it is. They checked it. They just totally checked it. Now watch it bounce. Well, if you had $1 for every time you see that, by the way, you can get more than $1 when you see that. That's actually a trade in itself, by the way. See how it hit it exactly? They just do that. Break resistance, check it as support. There's your 2 targets. Stop would definitely be, I'd probably even bring it like in through here just in case it doesn't take out those highs. Okay? Because mid-band, you got a little bit of support right here and here, right across there. I don't think I'd let them do much more than close. That's fine right there. See it? See, they bounced right where I drew the line ahead of time. That's the way you trade it. All right, let's go ahead and wrap. Thanks, everyone, again for coming. Hope you enjoy the webinars. I run mine usually about 10 minutes longer. I apologize for that. Nobody telling me to shut up. All right, thanks again, everyone. Bye now.